IVM.
If you have some time, you should also check out The Seen and the Unseen, which is a podcast hosted by writer Amit Verma, who takes a close look at the seen and the unseen aspects of various government policies.
Hi everybody, it's Tejas from the Geek Fruit Podcast. And what am I doing here on a Wednesday, you may ask? Well, consider this to be the Rogue One of all Geek Fruit podcasts. The origin story, if you will. And I know our episode 0 is precisely that. I know if you want to scroll all the way back, there is a Geek Fruit episode 0. But this is a -1, if you will. This is a story of how Jishnu and I met and how Dinkar and I met, and we all decided to be nerds together as one. So please enjoy this little excerpt from our Geek Fruit Live episode, the Geek Fruit Cantina, which was our Star Wars Day celebration. Before we started the real episode, we did this little, intro to it. It's a bonus, if you will. It's a DVD extra. It's a featurette. Choose which one you like it to be and enjoy the next few seconds.
I'm Tejas. Hi, thanks for being here. This is so cool and weird. I think it's the first time has anyone done something like Star Wars thing?
George Lucas did something like Star Wars.
That's true. Good point. I remember when he was shooting in Borivali. Yes, but
yes, of course.
Cool. Thanks for being here. We're going to be doing. How many of you guys have heard of Geek Fruit? If you haven't, that's a good thing. Don't celebrate it though, sure. If you have heard of Geek Fruit, that's great. If you haven't, we are. Jishnu, what are we?
We are it.
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
This
actually
is
so
what
accurate.
you haven't heard of, so you're not missing out on a lot.
You want to scooch first of all? Yeah. All right.
What?
Oh no, that doesn't make any sense. All right, no, I thought we could just get more center because this guy, he's being obscured. That's fine. Anyway, so Geek Fruit is a it's a company that we started a few years ago, and it started actually because of Star Wars. Both my friendships with both of them have blossomed because of Star Wars. So we owe it a great deal. I remember before I really wanted to write for stuff like IGN and things like that, and they just didn't have kind of content here in India. So I was like, it, let's start one. And then I remember this one moment where I was on a date. And I think he was also, you were on a date or something? And we both met.
That was a date?
I don't know. I was on one.
What?
I don't know about you, Jishnu, but I was on one.
I was actually meeting an old friend that you would eventually go on to date.
This
3
is
months
true.
after the fact.
This is true. What? 1 second. What is the big deal with that?
Just
That's
carry
fine.
on.
Anyway,
Carry on.
so we were
Move
both
on.
met at this restaurant, and I was sitting across Jishnu, and I knew he was this dude who came down, from Wisconsin. And he was just like being all like, hey, I'm from Wisconsin. What's up? How's it going? And that's a very accurate description of what was going on. And then we were like, hey, we're here. Let's join tables. But we were at Ambience in Lower Parel, so we just sat at a booth.
Yeah,
and
let's stop there. Revel in the
after that-
fact that it was ambience and there were only 4 people at this entire... the whole place was just me and my friend, you and your friend.
Yes.
That never happened. So fate alone was just shining on us that day because
It's true.
it was just a private party.
Yeah, and we were there, and I was, speaking, and as usual, I can't help it, but I brought up some Star Wars references, and he matched me with his own, and I was just like, wow, I mark this man as my equal. So I was just like, and he was just like, a B-wing, fighter, and I was just like, what? What is that? Where did that come from?
I remember
Wisconsin?
next to nothing of this.
But anyway.
I remember very little of this.
Yeah, we were both drinking Jishnu. But anyway, we went on to kind of start, cut to 3 months later, and during Star Wars Celebration, actually this time of the year, maybe a couple of years ago, the trailer for The Force Awakens dropped, and a tear simultaneously shed from thine eye. And then I called Jishnu.
That's where my part of the story starts.
I called Jishnu because...
That's all I remember. I remember getting a phone call while I was sitting alone at home in the dark, crying while I was watching said trailer
I don't
at
know
Celebration.
why. I don't know what called to me.
No, we were watching the live stream. You were drunk at a bar as usual.
No.
And that's where you were watching it. I was alone at home as usual.
Yeah.
And we were both crying. And I was like, I have nobody to hold me. And then I get a call.
That's why I called.
I was like, why is this
Jishnu?
idiot calling me?
I was like, who can I share this moment with? And I was just like, that guy from Wisconsin? That's so weird.
From Wisconsin, motherfucker.
But anyway, so I called Jishnu, and And then another 3 months later, I was really drunk in High Spirits in Pune, and I met Dinkar. I was like, dude, we got this. And he
my
was like,
story is way less dramatic. This one is this one has an arc and stuff. Here's what happened with me. We were at a gig. Tejas was super drunk. I was super drunk. He stumbles over to me and he's like, so you're like a nerd, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, cool, we're starting a company. And that's it. That's where the story ends.
I'm telling
Why
you,
did I not get this
I could
dramatic origin
identify
story?
so successfully that you were a nerd.
Apparently.
Yeah, that's true.
Just because I'm not from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I'm not from
Wisconsin. Anyway, so...
I was born in Breach Candy Hospital.
yeah.
Anyway, cut to some years later and here we are.
Yeah, here we are. So we do a couple of events now and then. We run this podcast called the Geek Fruit Podcast. It's on the interwebs, and it's heralded by a gracious network, IVM Podcast. Please give a big round of applause for IVM Podcast.
Oh, wait, Srijit, have we started?
Yes,
are we recording?
yes,
okay.
we are. This should be recorded for our...
Are we recording? Is
So in any case, we decided to do this, and we're at 123 episodes. That's 122 episodes for you guys to check out tomorrow after this one. So we have we're going to be doing a live edition of the podcast, and we have some guests which we're going to introduce. We're going to use them, one for each segment, if that's cool. I want to. Is this? Have we started the podcast? Is this
That's
the
why
podcast?
I asked, are we recording?
It's happening
Apparently
as we speak.
have.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So I'm gonna.
The thing is, guys, I'm really thrown off because we have shit written down in front of us. This is very new to us. We're used to the point of a podcast, and the whole idea behind this was that we just wanted to have a community where we can just jizz about shit that we like jizzing about, which is nerd shit, okay? Unfiltered,
Hashtag
no holds
nerd jizz.
barred. Yeah, and that's it. And there's very little agenda to it. The only point is everybody's welcome at the table. Say what you want, share in all opinions, negative, positive, whatever, but just don't turn anybody away, and then go on living your life. And so every time we do the podcast, it's usually just a matter of what do we want to talk about, what's got us excited this week, and then we come to the table, and we have about an hour to record, and we jizz. And that's it. And now there's
Jishnu, please speak for yourself.
There's organized jizzage, and this is very
because
confusing to me.
in the studio, Janam is just like, stop it, enough talking about Star Wars. So we finally get
As
to do
opposed
it
to
now
now
for
where
a whole
she's
day.
like, enough talking about jizz.
Yeah. All right, cool. So should I just do like a faux beginning of the episode?
Don't look at me directly because we're really close to each other and this is very awkward.
This is a photographic moment.
We're not used to this. You should be on the other side of the table.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. The not so exciting tale, as you might have imagined, between Jishnu and I, and how we met, and Dinkar and I as well, and how we started Geek Fruit. But if you care a little for that and enjoy the other things that we talk about, which is like Star Wars, you can check out our previous episode, which is the actual Star Wars Day celebration episode, Geek Fruit Cantina Live. Check it out. It's a 60-minute bonanza featuring special guests like Kunal Rao and Akash Mehta, two amazing stand-up comedians, plus everything that we love about Star Wars. So enjoy it, and may the Force be with you, you nerds.
He bends down to test the warm water for his bath. He comes here to quench his thirst for a hot shower and some podcasts. You can witness how he enjoys having other people talk about cool stuff in his bathroom. Indeed, it helps him with his loneliness. You can find more of his species on ivmpodcast.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.